All right, people, welcome back to your Thursday edition of the We Probably Right podcast. We're so excited to be with you this week. Kendra, a lot has happened this week, and I don't know. I don't know what to say about what's happening in 2022, but I'm sure you got the hot fire ready for us this week.
So I got some, honey. Listen, it was almost too much for me to keep up with. But welcome back. We will go ahead and get started. So, um, let's see, TV show movie for the week. This is not something that I have watched, but I've heard a lot about it and a lot of feedback about it, and it is called The Tinder Swindler. Have you heard about this, Farrelly?
Yeah, I've heard of it.
So, have you seen it at all, or?
I started watching it, but I could not really. I felt like it was fake, so I stopped watching it.
So apparently it's real, and the guy in real life has now been banned from all dating websites. So I haven't watched it. So the gist that I got of it is, what it sounds like, the Tinder swindler. So um a guy who has created dated profiles, catfishing people, getting monies, all kind of things, swindling, basically swindling women for goods, money, and services. And so now in real life, he has now been banned. So I'm definitely going to watch it. And if you see this he little human in the background, he is excited because I told him he could do the Black History facts this week. So he is awaiting to talk about that. This is Messiah, guys. You hear me talk about him sometimes, but this is who it is. So, so Freddie, what you do have a show or movie for this week?
I do. So I have been watching Janet Jackson.
The her documentary.
Yes,
Yeah, I saw you do a comment saying that she was the.
the
Go
blueprint.
ahead, because I haven't watched it. I heard some things, but I have not watched it.
Yeah, so Janet Jackson is the blueprint. Like everybody, I don't know where I was. Well, I won't born really because she been around since 1974. So that's about 10 years, 12 years before I was even put into the vagina of a woman named Sharon McNeil. And I did not know. I've been living under a rock about how awesome Janet Jackson is. All I knew she was Michael Jackson's sister, that she showed her nipple on Super Bowl. And I remember where I was. I was at my father's. I was at McGilvery's Village. I was at my aunt Shirley's house, and we had TiVo, and that was the only way we were able to like figure out what had happened because you could rewind TV, right? TiVo was the only thing back then, and so she is my Black History like moment because she did not ride on the names of her brothers. She wanted to get it out the mud. She was like, I'm Janet Jackson. And watching her story on Lifetime, it really gave me an understanding of kind of how their family is and how Michael Jackson, he wasn't being weird. Like they were kids when but were launched into stardom, and he was trying to get his childhood back. And they really answer some questions that I have been having about their family for a long time. So Janet Jackson, hands off. Everything that Janet Jackson's done in her career, if you're a member of the Beehive, Beyonce has followed that playbook to the letter, because Janet Jackson is the GOAT. If you don't know about her, you definitely got to do your homework. She's one of the greats.
Well, I'm definitely going to check it out now that you have amped it up because I'm interested to see the life of Janet D. Jackson, Miss Jackson, if you're nasty. So we're gonna go ahead and get into the Black History facts. So Messiah, Messiah, guys. We are avid visitors. You know how people get on TV because they never been on TV before, and then they ask food. Like that's what he doing. We are avid visitors of the Durham Public Library. We get about 25 to 50 books every couple of weeks, and he is in this reading um competition in school. So this week, when we picked up our books, I decided to kind of do mostly Black history figures. Um, and so he's been reading them, and he's been really excited about reading about some of those. So we're going to share two of the books, which talks about two people you may not know about, because I didn't really know about them. So this first book, what's it called? The Oldest Student. How Mary Walker Learned to Read is the name of this book. And what happened with Mary Walker? Well, first starting off, she was a slave, but then when she turned 15, she was an ex-slave. She was freed. And then at the age of probably like I think 20, she got married. She got married, and also when she was an ex-slave, it said her dad died, but it didn't say how. Okay. And so, when she was 20, she had gotten married, but she didn't have a lot of money, so she didn't have that much options of a job to do. So basically, and also when she was 115, she finally learned to read. At what age? 115. 115. Okay. And the reason why she had to learn at that age is because if you're a slave, you can't learn how. You weren't allowed to learn to read. Yeah. Right. And then how old did Mary live? How long did she live? 121 years. So she lived 121 years, and she died. She learned how to read at 115. And so basically it's just saying it's never too late to learn. And so that was a good story about Mary Walker. And on the back it says, "You're never too old to learn." And that is what it says.
This is true.
Then the next one we have is a book about Mamie Peanut Johnson. And what's the name of this? Mamie on the Mound. I've never read this book. Right. So we haven't read this one yet, but this one is about Mamie Peanut Johnson, and she was the first and only Black woman to ever play in the Negro major leagues. So there are some beautiful pictures in here. So we didn't get to read this one yet. We read some other great books, but I really thought this one was interesting. So if you haven't heard about Mamie Johnson, like read this with your kids, and learn about the lesser known historical figures. And so thank everybody for listening. Really, who your Black History Facts for this week?
It was Janet Jackson.
Oh yes. Okay. Anything interesting you want to throw out there?
You guys just need to watch Janet Jackson. Therefore, it's a 4-part documentary. And the biggest thing about Janet and what I think about music history is she was a worldwide superstar without Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, Snapchat, TikTok. And I think they really need to start doing like inflation for people's real celebrity. Like you can go viral overnight from and not have no skills. Like artists don't have talent no more. They have a hit song, a nice beat, and a TikTok dance, and you'd have made $1 million.
I'll say, because you had a lot to say about this very topic. When I was quoting Lisa Ray, when she was saying that celebrities had development and there was investment into their look, their brand, how they acted, whatever was out there about them, there was a huge investment into who they were, and now that doesn't exist. You could literally, like you said, wake up in the morning and boom, you're popping.
I don't disagree. I just think that she was coming from a place of hurt, just like old folks who in the workplace try to make you feel like you got to do, I did this, so you got to do this in order to get what I get, and you don't deserve what I got because you didn't get it out the mud either. That was my point in response to her.
But that's essentially what you're saying by saying that there should be celebrity inflation, because you can wake up and just be a celebrity and you didn't do what Janet Jackson needed to do without social media. There was literally radio shows. She had to do appearances, like to let herself be known, and then had to fight against the expectation for her to perform like her brothers. And so that's essentially the same thing. You're saying the same thing.
Essentially, I'm not. You're very good at putting words in other people's mouths.
I didn't put no words. I'm pointing out the fact that you're
Nope,
saying the same thing. You're saying that
I'm
if
not.
you did not do it Janet Jackson's way, then your price can't be Janet Jackson's price. It got to be a little lower. Hers has to be inflated, and that's the same thing that Lisa Ray was saying. If you didn't put in the work, you didn't get the branding, you didn't get the practice, you didn't get the training, you should not be the level of
Nope.
celebrity as other people. That's what you're saying.
No, so I'm not saying that. Let me explain what I'm saying, right? The difference in, um, not saying that they should not have the celebrity, is the amount of work that it really takes. I don't disagree that old celebrities had to do all these different things and really work really hard. We just learned how to work smarter. And I felt like in Lisa Ray's situation, she was discounting this other girl because she did not do that. And so that's why my response to her is like, girl, you need to be okay because we don't have to do that no more. The world doesn't exist in that way. But when it comes to Janet Jackson, what I'm saying is that old money and new money, like she's been on the planet or in the scene for decades, like 1974, right? A lot of people, these folks who come up like this, they don't have to stay in power, right? And so when you think about a Janet Jackson and a TikTok dance person, okay, there is a, it's not real celebrity. It's like, um you had a good moment. It's a highlight reel. you know, it ain't real celebrity because you're not internationally known. Janet Jackson, the Jacksons, like they were household names all over the world. And I couldn't tell you who a TikTok star from week to week. Half of these people, I'd be like, what? Who are they and why are they important and why should I be watching? So tomato, tomato.
Still makes sauce. All right, so all right, so this week has been, woo, honey. I'm calling this size dysmorphia, and this is particularly aimed at the trend of Nelly and Little Fizz's pink pictures slash videos circulating the interwebs. And I was really shocked. Okay, so first let me say, Little Fizz, when I looked at it, it felt like, you remember those old church microphones where they had those big caps on there, like the little, those big things that used to come on, and they used to have those little, I don't know, I guess microphone covers that you could smell. It would hold somebody's breath in it. That's what his looked like a mushroom. I call it a portobello mushroom. It really did look like one of those mushrooms on the Mario game. And then they talked. What was surprising to me was Nelly's video, which was a video of a woman giving him fellatio, and people were likening his size to a Vienna sausage. And I'm looking at the thing. It's like, no, it's nothing extraordinary about his penis. However, um, it was a very average size. And so it's like, what is it? What are women and men alike? Like, what are they coming into contact with where they are seeing a very average size penis and saying that this is a Vienna sausage? Now, I will say it did take away the mystery for me, and we've talked about this a lot. When celebrities start these reality shows and they take off the mystery, it is like womp womp. And so Nelly has a husband pee. What's a husband pee?
It's the normal size penis. I think our world has been so sexualized. Um, and if you're a frequent visitor of the dark adult interwebs, they only feature people with above average size private parts. Even on women, they have these huge things. So when you see a lady with a regular size breast, you be like, "What's wrong with you?" Because they're not perky. They kind of like go down and then they point up, and you just be like, "What's up with that?" So everybody's getting judged. Size matters to size queens, and a husband peeing, from what I understand, a boyfriend peeing is just something that you can take on a regular basis without losing your inner walls and your innermost beings being destroyed. You know, you can take husband peeing about three times a week. Porn star peeing, you might get it once a week. We're not talking about you. We talking about we're not talking about you. You're an outlier.
So this, okay, maybe
That's not even close.
not need to fan this out. No, I'm trying to get a visual of Fizz's penis. So it was like just a regular here, and then that, yes, like that. It was like a mushroom cap on top, and I was just like, "What
So
is this? What Monique meant when she calls him Little Fizzle Pop?"
yeah. So when I saw before I even saw his video, I just saw all of the memes that people were doing, and I was like, "Y'all are wilding." It was just like there was one of Beyonce, like she was looking and she was like, and I was so weak. But when I saw it, I was just like, man, you have an OnlyFans account and people are actually paying for this. It gave me a lot of confidence to think about OnlyFans, because if people are paying for that, I got something they'll pay for.
Listen, we all know that there's an audience for everything, literally. Like when I watched Orange is the New Black, and she was selling prison panties, used prison panties through the mail, and people were paying for it. Like, people will pay for your dirty panties. They will pay to see you eat. They will pay to hear you slurp and smack, and like, what's the lady that's famous for eating? Black lady, like, she became famous for biting pickles and stuff and smacking. Like, it's an audience for everything. So if you have an idea and it's weird, it will still make you some money. Do not worry about everybody else. It will make you some money. There are people that want to see you pour honey over your toes, like, and they will pay for it. It's
Yeah.
crazy though, because had he not exposed himself, the girls would still gag over him in his piece. Let me tell you, that is the thing I hate about celebrities, when they expose themselves too much. It takes off that mystery of, it's like this meme has been going around all week about, I bet you put your girl in the room and met the man, I bet she fold. And it's like, if we saw, Method Man was working with something like Nelly, like, we would be like, because it just takes away the mystery and imagination of what it could be. And it was pretty disappointing. I mean, nothing was wrong with Nelly's penis size, but it just, when I thought of Nelly, that's not what I saw. And
Well,
so,
well, I also think people don't realize he is 5'7".
yeah, I didn't realize that either. But I never really crushed on Nelly either. So
He's not cute. He's not my type.
no, he's not. He's not my type either.
But also Chance the Rapper, he had a penis slip.
Did I? How did I miss that? What was that about?
He was pink
It's pink.
and he was recording, and as his camera kind of panned, you saw the tip of his penis, and he was trying to focus on this thing. It's out there on Twitter, girl. It's there, but it's nothing spectacular. You don't see the whole penis. It looks like it was like he was I don't know what's going on, but I'm not even gonna comment on it anymore. But it was that, and there was another Soldier Boy.
Well, Big Draco. We know Big Draco got Big Draco.
He won him in the game, and this Jamaican boy,
What's your make boy?
Love and Hip Hop.
Oh, Safari. Yeah, but we know, Big Draco, like,
But let me tell you, I'm gonna mute you real quick.
okay.
So based on this, it made me think about when I found out Lil Fizz had an OnlyFans. I was like, let me see who were the top earners for OnlyFans. Safari is the number 8 top earner on OnlyFans. He has 3.2 million followers. His subscription fee is $19.99. He makes a $1.9 million a month. Okay. Then his wife, Erica Mena, 5.3 million followers. Her subscription is $35. She makes $4.49 million a month. Tyga, 21.8 million, $20 a month, $7.69 million a month. Cardi B comes in at number 3, 81 million followers. She charges $4.99 a month, making $9.43 million. She only has 6 pictures on her OnlyFans. Then Bella Thorne, do you know who that is? All right. The number 1 OnlyFans earner is Black China. 16.2 million followers, $20 a month, $20 million a month income.
So, and we going to work every day.
We got to make some music. Welcome, Big Tail. We got to make some music and get famous and then sell porn.
And we going to work every day, and people are making, like, not even on that scale, like just even a lower scale, thousands of dollars a month by just flashing toes. Some of them are just doing regular everyday stuff, and people are paying.
I tried to get you on that, but you was tripping.
Yeah, I was, but I'm back now. I'm back and I'm better. Let's talk about that later. So let's move on. So this week, one of the other things that we talked that was trending really big was Kanye West, for multiple reasons, but the number one reason I saw trended was people asking Kanye West to please take us out the group chat because he was asking for all kind of advice about his about his divorce and child custody. And one of the things that kind of bothered me was, but I mean, I see the brilliance in it. Him kind of pandering to black people and saying I want there's not another black man, black children, and all of a sudden you just super black, and I'm like, sir, we ain't forget. We have not forgotten what's been happening. Like, you and your rich problems can get the hell on because you asking us what you should be doing about seeing your kids and how your wife is not saying you're crazy and stealing and not behaving correctly. Like, you have more than enough money to fight her and to get what you need to do, and you're asking us, the working poor, to help you out. And that's just not gonna, and all the while doing it while kind of pandering to black people. He's also now trying to rebrand Black History Month. It's called Black Future. Black Future. Um so yeah, Pearly.
We were rooting for you, Kanye. I mean, you can't. You hate him and love him. That's our relationship with Kanye West. It's a love hate. Um, I do think, you know, ugh, God, it's so good and it's so bad at the same time. Hopefully, he's has a project coming out. He doesn't even need to do these stunts and shows for his music because people are going to fill up arenas wherever he goes. Whatever dumb thing he does, people he can never be canceled. Like he's uncancelable. He wants to be canceled very badly. And I think he keeps trying, but as long as the white people out here love him, that's the new hip hop base. And child, they love him.
That they do. So speaking of Kanye West, his girlfriend Julia Fox did a interview recently, and I thought it was interesting, not about their relationship, but her take on their relationship and how this is something that's kind of. So let me tell you what she said. They asked her about the relationship, and she said they asked her how she felt about his constant public displays and love for Kim. After this whole text thing fiasco, he got right back on and posted her magazine shoot with her and the kids, and he's saying God's gonna bring us back together. I'm praying God bring my family back together. This is just this week while he's in a relationship with Julia. So they asked her how she felt about it, and she says that I am sure there's some residual feelings, and that's normal and it's human, but I also know that he's with me now. Like, listen, if stay focused on the vision with a person, it is Julia Fox. However, what that made me think of is most of the time when people get in relationships with other people and that person may constantly say things like, well, X, Y, and Z did this, or when I was with them, this is what they did. That other person will start to feel like you need to get over them, you need to let me go, or do you really want to be back with them? Julia Fox has said, I don't care what you say about Kim, I'm not going nowhere. You have to push me out. Like,
I've been getting to the money. Everybody mad. Like, as long as I'm in the conversation with the top three people in the world and headlines, this is good for me. If nothing ever comes of this, if she don't flip this bag, if he actually gets back with Kim, which is what we want, she don't care. I don't even know. This is like he picked an ugly girl compared to Kim. Like just the next random girl that walk on the street, that's gonna be my girl. It's just not giving that. He's in love with that lady, and those his kids. Whoever come into his life, and you know about this, whoever come into this life, these kids and this person gonna forever exist. You know, it just gotta is what it is, and she play her part. I get to have exclusive access, and I know what my limitations are. I'm not gonna be out here embarrassing him and tripping him up. Once he finish healing or whatever this is, I'm gonna be right here, cause that's how y'all women do, master manipulators.
nigga. But isn't it also interesting, not surprising but interesting though, that she feels the same way, and but we're watching him make her into Kim 2.0. Like, he's doing the same thing he did with Kim, overhauling her entire wardrobe, dressing her in the same colors, giving her the same aesthetic that he gave Kim.
Well, it's like an interior designer. If that's your aesthetic, every canvas you get gonna look the same way.
So I'm sorry, I don't want to slaughter your name. Was it
Tuki.
Tuki? Julia is the fool. I just feel like if I were her, I wouldn't want no parts when it comes to media. If anything, I'd be in the background doing my due deals, not because I'm ashamed, but because I wouldn't want people to think I subscribe to the antics he has going on with Kim. I think Julia doesn't care. I think to us common folks, she's a fool. But when your mind is on the money, when your vision is clear, she don't give zero fucks about Kimberly Kardashian because she gotta go and she gonna get there. Head come hell or high water.
Yeah, absolutely.
Mm. Lord, I just preached, huh?
You did. And if you out there watching, this has happened twice. This happened in the church this last week, and it's happening in the secular world.
It
Okay?
did. It did happen in the church last week.
It may take you
It happened in the
25
church
years.
last week.
Stay the course.
Stay the course. Stay the course. I'm not even about to go down that rabbit hole. I already see it. Let me get a front of it. I'm moving on. All right. So next up, now this was like the baby's in the news again. He is trending again, and basically it's an on-site situation. So he's trending because he ran into his child's mother, Danny Lee, brother, while at a bowling alley, and he attacked him. So people are calling the baby lame and all those things. Like people forget, right? The baby is of a certain mindset in a certain place. When all of this stuff went down with Danny Lee, was it a month ago now, 2 months ago? Her brother took it upon himself to publicly say when he saw baby, it was going to be on site. So I think people were expecting baby to wait for him to attack first. No, when you about that life, and somebody then told you on site, that's what the fuck that meant, on site. And baby didn't wait until the brother saying that he was trying to come to him like a man. No, baby, you should have called him because what you thought was gonna happen, it was on site.
Yeah, like if you made this claim, you on site. So I know you ready to fight, boo. You ready to throw them bows. So I need to watch this video. Is there a video? Because we know the baby, he's knocked people out in the middle of the mall just for random stuff.
Yeah, there is a video. However, the video is it's not the full altercation. So it basically shows baby at the he's it's kind of done. His security or his crew is now kind of on the guy. Baby is walking away with a blunt in his mouth. He done put his blunt in his mouth and it's hanging like a loose cigarette. And the brother finally emerges and all you see is blood on his face. So
He said it in his lyrics with um what's that girl name? Megan the Savage or Stallion? What's her name? Megan the Stallion.
this bitch old on here. Megan the Savage. Okay, ho. You old ho
Oh,
now.
child. He said, you know, I'm the baby and I don't give a fuck. Like, those are not lyrics. That's a lifestyle.
And we know that the baby lives by his words. And so I was just interested. Like it was funny that like people on the interwebs were so upset, like he corny, he lame. Like, no, honey, like this is real life. You told me on site. What you thought that meant?
Run up, get done up.
Run up, get done up. That's the law that we live by.
All right. If you want to join us and share your opinion tonight, the link is in the chat. Click, we'll add you. You can share your opinion on what we're talking about tonight. Take a moment to click like, share, subscribe to wherever you are so you can get notified when we are going live.
So, guys, please, I apologize. If you keep seeing my hand do this, it is because I had technical difficulties with my laptop, and so I am on my phone, and so I have to keep dismissing all kind of things happening. So I am sorry. Next, we will talk about while I was preaching, something hit my spirit, and in that book y'all read, it says something about God will prepare a table for you in the presence of your enemies. Honey, rise up. So Snoop Dogg has now acquired Death Row Records, the same label that made him and then tried to kill him. He has now acquired different records, and also releasing an album called Back at Death Row, but this time he is the owner. Like, if that ain't the word, that is the word. Like, crazy, because Sugar's still in prison. And we, if you don't know the story, how Lil Snoop started with Death Row Records, they put a hit out on him. He's giving credit to Master P for saving him, getting him off of Death Row, moving him to Louisiana, setting him up, teaching him the business, how to get his own money because he was broke. And then he's been, how we've affectionately known him, Uncle Snoop, and he's been living his life to the best that he can. And like he said in his acceptance speech for his Hollywood Walk of Fame, he was like, I want to thank me for doing all this hard work. And so now he is now the owner of Death Row Records. What's your thoughts, for really?
That's pretty dope. Um, I like that for Snoop. I think it's a good moment when you can make a statement like that. That's what money is for, to show people that, hey, you tried to take my life, you tried to take me out, but I'm the one that's gonna be the saving grace. They ain't put out no music. They haven't been putting out music. So
On Death Row, no. Now if they have, I'm not that close to
yeah,
that.
I
That
think
I
it's
would know.
it's a win-win. Iconic label. New folks are going to want to be a part of that process. So it's just going to be good things all around, and hopefully we can get some more gospel albums from Death Row.
If you don't want to produce it, that's all in the video. All on the side. Okay. All right. So lighter, heavier news. So the autopsy, this scared the shit out of me. And I also got some good advice. Autopsy for Bob Saget came in. And so he died from head trauma. So apparently Bob hit his head or fell on something and went to sleep and never woke up again. And so now what it has said to me, and it has activated something in me, is anytime I'm gonna be down at the emergency room. And so now I'm be scared to lay down. I ain't been asleep in 2 days. I'm gonna be calling you for real. I ain't been asleep in 2 days. So I was on the phone with Ashley earlier, and today's her birthday, so she's in the car with somebody else, and a lady was like, listen, every time I have to go to emergency room, I tell them that I'm having chest pains and I can't breathe, and I always go straight to the back, and then I tell them what I'm really there for. And I was like, why have I never thought of this scam before?
Girl, I don't know, because you're the queen of scams, but that makes sense. That's an urgent emergency room issue. But now we all know, if you're a black person and they're not taking your pain seriously, what's the command?
Listen, don't even tell them your real pain. Don't tell them that you got a broke anything, that your leg hurt, and you come in there straight off the rip. You having chest pains and you are struggling to breathe. And if all else fails, this is my little add on. Start passing out. I mean, hit the flow. And then when you come to, you will be in the back on a bed, and then tell them, then you tell them the truth because they can't send you back out there. So
Because they gonna bill that ass for that room $1,300.
bill my insurance, okay? But make sure you have a good deductible or Medicaid or whatever you living with. Make sure that you can recover from that very, very swiftly. But that, to me, that was so scary to think that, like, because I've hit my head on some, I've fallen on the steps before a couple of times, boom boom, and to think I could have went to sleep and never woke up. Oh my.
That's you look like the I like it rough type child. That's what Ja Rule said.
Now my mic wouldn't not unmute fast enough. What the hell they got to do with anything?
I'm just saying, some people, if they get their head knocked up against the wall, they may want to get that checked out, or get knocked in between the washing machine. You might want to get that checked out too, because that headache ain't just from the washing machine. Sugar, 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 sugar. You got to do some work.
Okay, guys. So if you get a little head bump, don't take it lightly. Please go down to your urgent care or emergency room and tell them that you're having chest pain, you can't breathe, so you can be seen immediately. But do not go to sleep. That's my advice. Don't go to sleep. Stay up for at least 24 hours if you can. Because I don't want to have to write my condolences. So
Oh, I'm just. I mean, yeah. Let's. I say stay out the hospital because they just experimenting. They practicing is what they call it. Literally practicing.
they are. I'm gonna tell you a story. So I have a friend who had foot pain. And so I was like, let me see the foot on video. It was discolored, it was swollen. They went to the doctor and was told it was a sprain. I said, that is not a sprain. I've fallen enough to know that's not a sprain. That's so I didn't have sprains and fractures. I know enough to know that's not a sprain. And we are almost 2 weeks later, and they came back. Now, this blew my mind because it's not for old people only, but they have gout. They have gout in their foot, and that's what the real issue was. And so they just got on antibiotic medication yesterday. After being told that it was a sprain, they were given a boot and Tylenol 800s and sent to the house.
They need to sue. That's malpractice.
Well, because I told him, I was like, listen, doctors, like, I am in no way discrediting anybody who loves what they do. They take their work passionately, but we're not going to sit here and pretend like they're just walking around books of knowledge. We've seen this on House. They go to that back room and they Google up and they read books and they look up these symptoms and they say, okay, this is what this looks like it could be. And then that's what they do. And they was like, oh, you got a little pain when you walk? Oh, you were standing up all day? You got a little sprain. Go into the house. That's what happened.
If your foot is discolored, I know that ain't no sprain. Swole only, maybe, but it's discolored, and this probably was a Negro, right? So
And it
for
wasn't
your
just,
foot,
and I knew it wasn't a sprain because it wasn't just swollen at the area, like the ankle, like the entire foot was swollen and discolored.
Lord, don't give me no gout. I'm not cut out for that life, Jesus. You done gave me diabetes, and I I don't want to. I can't.
Listen, listen, that also leads to with gout, like how you don't really act right with your diabetes. To to add gout, right? I was like, because me, I'm investigative. I start looking up stuff. So now I'm looking at like what things contribute to gout, what can cause inflammation. So like all things, lose weight. There are certain diets or certain foods that you can eat that cause the acid to flame up on your area of gout. So I'm reading it. Friend says, but I'm gonna get me a Mountain Dew. And I'm thinking, like, why? Why are we like that? Like, you could be told, listen, you need to turn your life around. If you don't do this, you're gonna lose your foot. And then we turn around and say, well, I'm still gonna give me a little piece of pork chop. Like, what?
From firsthand experience, it's you have to just change those habits. Drinking the Mountain Dew is what got me here. It's my feel good. It's my go to. Just like we think, anytime you feeling bad, because I think I had to. I don't know if I said this to you or to my mama about this
You said
damn
it to
ginger ale.
me. You said it to me because I listen, y'all. I was a little sick last week, and I told Fred I had a little ginger ale, and he was like, "That is not medicine." I'm like, "I know."
It's like it's one of them things. Whatever is culturally or comfort to you, that's kind of what you go for. And I'm the same way. You have to figure out the good balance and how to live. And he's like, well, it ain't killed me now. So it's to when you die, it'd be too late to figure out what actually killed you. So had that Mountain Dew, bro.
Do not have that Mountain Dew. Do not have the Mountain Dew. Stop drinking the Mountain Dew, the sweet teas, all of that. You're gonna be hurting.
Yeah, I drink water. That's all I drink. So what? When have you seen me drink anything else?
When you be here at my house,
Because you don't never have no water.
yes, we always have water. We always have water. It's boxes of the blue in my pantry right now.
Oh, we don't drink the blue, baby.
So it's not that we don't have water. We don't have the water you want.
Period. So you don't have no water if you don't have the water I want.
We're gonna move on. All right. So this one, I think this topic is, is near and dear to me. But I think it's good for us to talk about it at high level. It's a meme or a gift that I've been seeing floating around. But I did want to have some level of communication about this. And so basically, I'm calling this Black men versus mental health, and Black men are not safe. And so there was this breakdown, and it was saying how when Tyrese had his breakdown in front of the world about not being able to see his daughter for 2 years, we laughed and we made a meme out of it. When Will Smith sat on national TV or national internet and had his wife tell him, about her entanglement, we made a meme out of his face. And then there was a third situation that happened where we made a joke of it. Oh, when Kanye had his breakdown in front of the world on TV. I don't remember that happening. But people rush to call him crazy. And it's like, and then the end of it says, but we don't understand why men don't talk about their mental health or their feelings, but we've made a joke of it. So I'm not a man, but I do have men in my life who struggle with some mental health things, and I couldn't imagine them feeling so small that they could not talk about it. Um, which is something I think that naturally happens because you don't want people to think something's wrong with you. But why do you think it is like that you guys can't be safe and you can't feel vulnerable to talk about the things that affect you and affect you mentally?
Yeah, I think there's a certain age range that is still true for younger generations. They don't have that same pressure to show up. Gender is fluid. The expressions is fluid, and I think I still suffer from that about like what a man is, and you don't want to bring attention to yourself because you may be seen as weak. And if you come from a certain place and people know that you have a weakness, then people are going to try to use that against you. And then the other part is that people really don't care. And so, what's the point in sharing if people are saying, "Oh, you don't feel good, so you gonna pay the light bill tomorrow?" It's just like, what's the point? I might as well suffer in silence, and when I'm good, I'll be good. We just don't get that kind of support, and because I think with celebrities is another piece is that we don't see them as human, as having a human experience. We see them as caricatures, and that everything they do is for our entertainment, which is so weird how the world works. It's like it's something in our brain that says because you have money, you have status, you have more than I do, that I can treat you less than human. And our
But we
society
saw
just sees
that with
the
Tasha K when she said that she did what she did to Cardi B because she knew she could pay for help. So it was like, so I think in this, because we talked about this some months ago, where we talked about Tuki says because it's deemed as soft and soft is deemed as gay for men to express their thoughts and feelings, period. I think that is a piece of it. But I think it's funny especially in our community, or awkward in our community, because we talked about this topic about Black women not being heard when we're saying like we having this experience or this is happening, but in the reverse, Black men not even being allowed to speak about their experience. Like it's two different things. Like we say these things and then we're dismissed or not heard, but you guys have to not have to think about them. I can't even say I am hurting. I cannot say I am struggling. I cannot say that something's not right. I can't say any of this because I have to put on this full armor and perform and be strong and be fearless and have no emotions, because I can't be seen as weak. I cannot be seen as unable to provide. I cannot have any level of vulnerability.
Yeah, and I know that even particularly, I can think about when people die in my family. For some reason, I'm not even present as a grieving person. I am there to make sure everybody else around me is good. And that's the role that I assume. Even if it is killing me, I still have to show up in a way that people can't see me break down. Because if I break down, then I feel like they're not going to be able to recover. And I just have to grieve for another year to make this be okay. And I think that's something a trauma experience that I just have kept with me from my childhood is that because when you have those kind of tendencies, something has happened that people have shown to you that how you feel doesn't really matter. And so from then on, you'd be like, well, what if, why am I gonna share it with you if I already had that experience and you assume every other person in your life feels that way? And this just has this ricochet of effects on all kind of relationships in your life when you just don't believe that people generally care about you or care about how you feel. And so it's hard. And men get too old. They get very old when they actually figure out that it's okay to have emotions, to express emotions, and even as simple as telling your children you love them. Like they're one of the most basic things. You say, "I'm gonna go provide. I'm gonna work hard and make sure you got everything you need," but I can't hug you, embrace you, or tell you I love you because that's soft, and that's not what men do.
Wow. So I think like it's always like so layered and we can never unpack these things 100%. um is it that people don't care or they don't know how to care properly? I think it's both, Tuki. I think it's both. We don't know how to care because you know we weren't taught. We didn't see that interaction of care. um and then sometimes you don't, just don't, because you don't know that you should care. It's one of those, why are you crying? Suck it up. You shouldn't even, that shouldn't even bother you. You shouldn't even care. Like move on. Take the punches and keep rolling. Like that's what it's taught, especially in our community. And so, it's just, that double-edged sword. Black women not being heard, and then Black men not being allowed to even speak, and then not being taken seriously, or being allowed to still maintain their masculinity even though they may be vulnerable or they may be suffering. um I don't even know what the safe space is for you guys to say, listen, I'm struggling right now and this is what's happening.
Yeah, I think the younger generation, they definitely have access to that because mental health, let me tell you, this is a new thing. Okay. We didn't have mental health. Well, we didn't call it mental health issues. You had to be tough. You had to toughen up. Take it. Push through it. Have some resilience. Have some grit. And now I know for a long time I was like, you got anxiety. You got mental health. Like, man up. And that's just kind of the way of the world. But we grew up in a different world than what a lot of these younger people have grown up in. And so the way they experience the world, the way that if you fall down the steps at school in Rayford, North Carolina, and somebody captured it, you can be on World Star tomorrow, and a million people who you don't know can be commenting on, and it's just a strange world, an alternate universe that we're living in these days since 2013. And so you just have to be really, really, really careful about those kinds of things, you know.
Okay. So, what I would say, we can leave it on this is like, if you are in a situation, especially to us as a women, um, it's okay to ask, stop and say, hey, how are you doing? Like, how are you truly doing? But create a space and environment for that man in your life, be it a spouse, a significant other, husband, cousin, brother, dad, for them to actually feel safe enough to say, like, I'm down right now. And then figure out together like what to do to change that. And at the same time, making sure that when women are speaking and saying that they are having these experiences, that we're not dismissing those things. And just because it may seem light to you, it is very much serious for her and should be taken that way.
Yeah, you also, I think, having mental health issues is a I'm gonna I'm going to say it's a luxury of people that are not struggling with how to feed themselves, clothe themselves, and care for families. So that's another piece of it, is that I can't have a mental breakdown. I can't be emotional because I need to hold it together because I don't know what this looks like if I open this door. Like what's
Yeah, because I
behind
gotta
there.
survive. Yeah. Um, so all right. So, Farley, I don't know if we have any resources, but if you are dealing or struggling with anything, if you feel like it's anxiety or depression, or you might feel like you're hearing voices or you're being pulled to do something that you don't want to do, um, Google, look up local mental health associations, and just try to talk to somebody as soon as possible if you don't feel safe enough to do it within your own tribe. So, moving right along. When you hear in dating, let's just see how this goes. Do you feel like that statement is valid and effective?
The statement is, let's see how that goes.
How this
I
goes.
gotta
So like,
rephrase.
say you're trying to date, and you may ask the question like, what are you looking for? Or, what are your intentions? And the person responds, let's just see how this goes. Do you feel like that's a valid and effective statement?
Yes, because I'm the person who normally would say that.
Well, we know you are a fuckboy.
I mean, I get a 7-day trial with Netflix. I mean, I'm just trying to figure out. I need to figure out what's going on here, you know, because this may not. I don't know you, and I usually date strangers. So let's see how you show.
So wait. So because you don't know them, you can't. So I have my theory that people that use that is a blanket to not answering a question, but answering it to keep you right where they need you to be. Because there's nothing wrong with saying, I am dating with the intention of X, Y, and Z. It does not mean that it is you that I'm going to end up with. It does not mean that I am going to be with you and I'm trying to make you this grand thing in my life. It just means like that's what I'm out here to do. No different than like I'm just trying to have fun. I ain't trying to do nothing serious. Like let's just let's slap
That's
cheeks.
the same response. That's the same response as let's see where it goes because it's gonna
I
go to slapping
know that.
cheeks.
That's the point. But you say, let's just see where this goes because it leaves the other person, if they gullible enough, with just a little bit of hope that if they show up just a little bit more, that they could get you to where they want you to be with them and turn this into something else. That's why I said it's a classic fuck person's response.
We're just being honest. And you can, if I tell you I don't want you up front, it's gonna make you want me harder. And so why even put people through that? Why? It's not even necessary because we gonna end up doing what we do, you know. So I just let it. I just go with the vibe and see what's up. And if you're okay with that, and you don't require me to do anything else, then that's kind of where it's gonna stay. But if you require me to do something else, then I have to be more clear with you. But everybody else, I can just string along.
Oh my God. I mean, it's honest, but my gosh. So have you ever had, in giving that response, have you ever had anybody push back and say, no, what do you want? Or what do you want from me? Or they just let it ride?
Yeah, because if you're talking to me, then you're already doing good. So you don't want to get cut off. you know, you got on the ride. Don't let this ride end
Are you
abruptly.
serious?
I am serious. I just think, if somebody because that's if somebody said that to me and I'm looking for something different, I know I need to this X marks the spot. Boom. If I call this person if I want to have some fun, if I'm bored, da 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 da. But if you ask me that question and I even answer, well, I'm just looking, I am actively dating. That's generally how I put it, you know, because it's vague, but it's not vague. And whatever meaning you make of that is the meaning you make of it. I think all of it is manipulative because I think you need at least 3 to 6 months to really just determine if this is something that you really want to do. Like we can't be in a relationship after 4 weeks of going out on dates every day or spending time on weekends with each other. I think it takes way more than that because a person changes with seasons, events in their lives. You got to see them with their friends and da da da. So yeah, it's gonna take a while for me to really be like, yeah, I want you. It may be 25 years for me to really put a ring on it.
So I'm gonna tell you why those statements don't generally work in my life, right? So you know how I hold my brothers to a certain, like I have them on these levels. And I never forgot one day, I was younger, we were out and my brother was giving one of my cousins advice about a guy that she was seeing. And he kept asking her, he said, well, did he say that? And she was like, no, 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 no. And he was like, listen, don't ever assume anything. I don't care how he treats you. If he makes you feel that way, don't assume nothing. Be very clear
Nothing.
to get from
Yes.
him what you need to hear.
Right.
Make sure you have that conversation. So every time I get those vague things, and if it leaves question marks, I will drill. Like you're like we're gonna get to the bottom of what, like, because I'm not gonna be like, well, the way he was holding me made me feel special, and he called me every night. Mm-mm. No, no, no. We got to talk about this, and I'm gonna get a real answer. Like I can't let it go because I heard
Baby.
that, and I know that my brother wasn't lying. So I was like, no, applied, application applied in my life. So when those statements come out, let's just see where it goes. Mm-mm, no, no.
Yeah, because I'm going to string you along for as long as you allow me, and we want to be taken to task. We want to be held accountable. Be like, oh shit, they ain't playing. I can't do this one like this one. I got this my top tier bay. So I gotta put in a little bit more effort. But be clear, if you good at what you do, The amount of effort you put in is gonna make them still think everything is good to go. So you can still be kind. It's just a long game. It's just a long game.
You just gotta increase your con level. Oh, okay.
If you want to play,
I
this is
I
what it
think
costs.
with that type of person, like the type of person that I am, I think that will work. It'll buy you maybe a couple more weeks, maybe a few more months, but it's not gonna be a long term one. Like eventually they'll be like, listen, mm-mm.
We're just gonna let you know, like, you know what? I can't give you what you want. And I think, we good. We can be home. We can be homies, and whatever it is, what it is. And we still leaving the. I'ma leave the door open, right? Not for you to just walk in at night, but I'm gonna leave the door open in case you Rihanna, and 12 years later I can get you pregnant.
That's why I cut all the pipes off. Ain't no spinning the block. Ain't no spinning the block. Mm-mm.
I got FOMO like a mofo. I got numbers in my phone from 2005.
All right, guys. So thank you so much for joining us for this week of Last of the Millennials. We're probably right. If you have not already done so, please share our content, like us, subscribe to us, and follow us on all social media platforms. I think except Twitter, because I don't think we're on Twitter. And make next week I will not be here because I'll be on vacation. So what that means is that Frilly may or may not come live, but so you'll get a week off. So we will see you in 2 weeks. It will no longer, well, still, no. Yeah, it'll still be Black History Month. So we'll bring a little bit more Black History facts for the last Thursday of the month. Thank you again for tuning in, commenting, and joining us. We love the interaction, and we will see you in 2 Thursdays. Thanks, guys. We